I think it's friends with the United States. It follows all these rules of the United States government. But at the same time, there's a darker side of that. How about if one day the United States government says, well, that guy's a criminal. I'm taking his Bitcoin. And it's all at Coinbase. Well, Coinbase will give you your Bitcoin. Now, so it wasn't really your Bitcoin, was it? But if you control your Bitcoin on your Trezor, and the United States government says you're a criminal one day, they can't take it from you. They cannot take it from you. But when it's on a third party, it's very, very easy for them to take it from you. Especially one like Coinbase, which totally obeys them. And again, that's what you sign up for with Coinbase. It's not Coinbase's fault. It's your personal responsibility there. But I mean, it's a risk. There's also, I'm telling you not to take that risk and get it off of Coinbase and all of those third parties. Also, when you're, and this is, I've got all sorts of little tips here. When you're watching some of our videos, there'll be advertisements on YouTube before our videos. We do not endorse those advertisements. I don't know the advertisements that YouTube puts up before my videos. They just put up advertisements. Do not listen to those advertisements. Dude, some of those advertisements can be scams, okay? Seriously, there was the BitConnect. Some people will be like, Adam, BitConnect is doing advertisements before your video. And that was like a straight up, well, it was a straight up, it ended up being a Ponzi. So even if you hear legitimate, like eToro does a lot of advertisements, I know, on YouTube. No, don't. That doesn't mean they're kosher people. if they're before your favorite content producer's video. So be very careful with people that are pushing themselves out there in the advertising realm. Again, I tell people to stay away from the words trading and mining. Don't try to be a trader or a miner. It really complicates things a lot. All right, another reason you don't want to be a trader and a way to lose Bitcoin, today is the last day to pay your taxes in the United States. If you were a trader and you were buying and selling, let's say, on Coinbase, like many times over, you bought, you sold, you bought, you sold, those are all recorded. And again, it's not Coinbase's fault. It's not your exchange's fault. That's what you signed up for. They're reporting it to the IRS. So there are a lot of people who have, it's really complex to do your taxes that way. A, because you have all these little transactions you have to report. If you were just holding, you wouldn't have to worry about that. But not only that, some people make huge profits and there's all sorts of complexities to it. So in order to pay their taxes, they have to sell their Bitcoin now. Which again starts up the whole process again. So next year, they have to report that on their taxes, that they made a certain profit or a loss and everything. So again, a reason you don't want to get into the trading game is because eventually you're going to have to pay taxes on it, and you might have to lose even more Bitcoin to pay those taxes. And so that's not a cycle to get into. I mentioned altcoins before. I mentioned not to invest in your friends' projects. Lending. People ask me, what lending platform is the best lending platform out there? I want to get a return on my Bitcoin. I want to, give it to this lending platform, and then they're going to give me interest on my Bitcoin. No, don't do that. Well, what's stopping the lending platform from going out of business and just stealing all your Bitcoin? I mean, again, that's, for a 1% return. And then usually the reply I'll get is, well, for Bitcoin to be a real currency, you're going to be able to have to lend it out and have interest rates on it. Okay, we'll worry about that in the future. For now, it's giving your Bitcoin to a third party. That's all it is. It's just a fancy way of saying that and hoping they give it back to you with a return. So avoid that. I said avoid ICOs. Private key and passphrase compromise. Okay, I talked about crypto dividends before. A lot of you have heard about all of these forks from Bitcoin that have recently come out. Some of them, you're like, well, how do I even get this Bitcoin diamond? Let's call it B diamond. How do I even get this? And it's not easy. But don't be tempted just because there's no easy way to get it. If someone pops up and say, hey, I have an easy way to get your B diamond now. Never give your passphrase to them. Never give your private key to them. Never give them personal information. Because more than likely, it is a scam. Hold on to that thing for dear life. That's the easiest way to lose your Bitcoin. When you mistakenly think you've stumbled upon a site that's going to give you that free crypto dividend, that's going to split that free crypto dividend for you if you just enter in your Trezor recovery seed. Do not do it. Ask someone first. Make sure just don't do it at all. Just do not do it. You just being paranoid in this space is a good thing. Just taking your time is a very good thing. It benefits you in the long term. Okay, we talked about don't store any coins anywhere unless you control your private key. Here's another one. Let's say you do have a Coinbase account, okay? Or any type of cryptocurrency, or even if you have a trading account out there, and you get an email from that third party that you're affiliated with, you already have an account with that third party, and it says, hey, we've done some updates here, click on this link so you can come to our site and check out the terms of conditions have changed. Don't click on that link. And you're like, well, why? The company just emailed it to me. They just emailed. It might not be that company. I get fake Coinbase emails all the time. All the time. There are people out there that just send out millions and millions of fake Coinbase emails to anyone, and they know they're going to stumble upon someone that has a Coinbase account eventually. And you click on it, you enter maybe they say, hey, enter your password to get into Coinbase to log in now to get the new update, and you'll do it. Then all of a sudden they go into Coinbase, they start buying and selling, and it's horrible what can happen. And then you're going to say, well, how about if it is a real Coinbase email? How about if I get a real email from Coinbase? Should I click on it? No, you shouldn't. Again, better safe than sorry. The information that they're telling you to click on, if you just log in the regular way you usually log in, you're going to get there eventually. So I don't click on any links in any cryptocurrency related email. Same thing with Twitter accounts out there. Don't click on any Twitter links from trusted sources, from your friends even, because they might have gotten hacked or they might have got fooled into sharing a fake Litecoin, a fake Charlie Lee tweet, or someone that you think is reliable. Be very careful with this. There's so many. You might have a favorite Twitter personality. Right now, there are so many scams out there involving Twitter and social media, people imitating your favorite personality just to trick you into giving away your private login or private key information. And again, when we're talking about Twitter and when we're talking about the troll boxes on exchanges, there are some really low-life type of people that hang out at these places. And they get a certain type of gratification that I cannot understand by spreading fear, uncertainty, and doubt. They will just scream over and over again, Bitcoin's going down to 5,000, Bitcoin's going down to 4,000, sell now, sell now. And if they do it long enough, and if you see it often enough, it's going to bring you down. You got to be able to avoid these type of people. If you see someone that you identify as a troll, that's it. Block them. Get out of their sphere of influence, okay? And sometimes people can be legitimate at first, and then they can just totally troll on you. So try to, I'm not saying, there's many sides to every story. But you guys can tell a positive person from a negative person. Avoid the negativity out there. Because for some reason, there's like a lot of negative people out there, and some of them are straight up crazy people that are just get jollies out of it. And they really are, they love social media. That's how they get their social contact. They don't come out to real, they would never say it to your face. They would never try to FUD you to your face. FUD, again, for those that you don't know, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. That's a term you're going to hear a lot, and something that you should be familiar with if you are in the cryptocurrency space. And it's not, there's going to be all these wannabe traders out there too. So they're going to try to tempt you into trading. And they're going to say, well, you see, I sold at 20,000 and I bought back at 5,000. It's so easy to do. You just sell high, buy low. And I did it. Well, most likely those people are liars, okay? They're talking a big game now that the price has gone down. It is not that easy. And so just because a guy is talking a big game about what a great trader he is on the internet where you will never meet him, he might not even be a guy for all you know. He's probably not the picture that you see there. Don't believe it. It's not that easy. And again, that guy's not paying. Does he talk about the taxes he paid? He didn't pay taxes because it really didn't happen. But maybe even if it did happen, he's probably not even paying taxes on it. So be real careful about that. And remember, we all do make mistakes. So learn from your mistakes. Just don't rely on others. But if you do make a mistake where you sent your Bitcoin to a Bcash address, then okay, get back up from it. Don't abandon Bitcoin. Don't say, oh, it's not for me, this personal responsibility coin. It's not, I want to go back to the banks. I want to be part of the herd and just live my regular life and get my big screen TV. No, don't let bad things happen in cryptocurrency. Everybody gets scammed. I mean, a lot of people get scammed. Don't let it turn you off to cryptocurrency. It is the wild, wild west right now. So that's another way to lose your Bitcoin. Where you're like, well, I made a mistake. I'm out of this game. I'm selling out now. I'm cashing out. You're going to regret it in the long run. It's just such an exciting. It's always exciting for me, but you just got to think about the bigger picture. This is just a total change in the way we see money. And if you ever get down, remember that. Or if you ever get down, watch my channel. People say it really reassures them a lot and stuff when the price is going down. All right, avoid buzzwords. There's so many people out there that like to throw around these smart contract, buy my cryptocurrency. It's a smart contract type of cryptocurrency. There's all sorts of other words that are complex. If you do not fully understand what buzzwords they're talking about, and by the way, sometimes they don't even understand the buzzwords they're using and they're just totally making them up, just avoid those people. Keep it simple. Let me tell you a word that I like to use. Unconfiscatable wealth. They can't take your Bitcoin away from you. That's really all you got to remember there. You don't have to worry about these magical altcoins that are going to be able to solve every aspect of your life, that are going to be able to, I don't know, turn your car into a house magically and then build you a rocket ship. I mean, the things you hear that they're going to all be able to do one day. Just don't get caught up into that madness of these fancy buzzwords. And when I was in South Africa at the cryptocurrency conference, I mean, at times people were just talking smart contract this, smart contract that. I'm like, do you really need smart contracts right now? I mean, why can't we just talk about store of value and how the bank bail-ins aren't in Bitcoin? I mean, that for me is the basic type of thing. So don't get tempted away from Bitcoin by some of this big talk out there. Speaking about Africa is so in the cryptocurrency space, everyone's like, Africa's the future. There's so much potential in Africa. And I agree. But how about if you meet someone that's like, hey, dude, Africa's the future. I need 5 Bitcoin. We're going to start this awesome project in Africa, of all places, because it's the future. It's going to be huge. We're going to start the first Bitcoin exchange in Somalia. It's going to be a moneymaker. You got to, again, don't get tempted by these future trends that are not even close to happening yet. Again, you're giving away your Bitcoin to something that seems like you're going to be the freaking hero. You're going to be able to virtue signal to all your friends that you saved Africa or whatever. No, don't fall for those things, people. Do not. I know it sounds glamorous and awesome, and you're going to be famous. Strive not to be famous in Bitcoin. Strive to be your boring grandmother with a savings account, and in the long run, you'll be happier. You will be. I mean, Bitcoin is a newfangled savings account. I'm sure my grandma would love to get into it if she understood it. Thank God you're able to understand this on this level. All right, what else do we have? We talked about the fake Twitter accounts. Never get fooled by that. God, wow, we rolled through some of this stuff here. It never hurts to, if you do have a Trezor already, you get another one. To have multiple storage devices, just in case something catastrophic happened to your Trezor and your recovery seed. You had some Bitcoin on another device. At the same time, sometimes just to have a backup Trezor, if something went wrong with your Trezor and you have your recovery seed, you can always put that recovery seed on another Trezor and just start all over. So why not have that backup already? So I think that's about all. You should pound that like button if you're watching my video right now. If this is on video, pound that like button. Think long term, and have a strong hand. I think I explained what having a strong hand is. There's a lot of temptation out there. Don't get tempted in the down times to sell. And the down times are the times to prove that you're here for the long run. There's lots of opportunity now. Always be in motion. reach out to the trusted personalities out there. They're always very willing to talk. So yeah, that's about it. I will answer all of your questions, I'm sure, about anything. It doesn't have to be about how to hold on to your Bitcoin. Yes?
So you said have multiple Trezors. If you do have two, and say you have Bitcoin on each one, if you lose one and you try to use that recovery seed, can you do that onto a Trezor that already has something, or does it have to be blank? Will it overwrite that?
I would do a blank one. I would do a blank one. I think it has to be blank. There's actually other, well, I don't want to get in. You could actually use that recovery seed on some other ways. There are other ways. You go to Trezor, Trezor.io. Their frequently asked questions can explain to you how to take your recovery seed and recover your Bitcoin like on a completely different, on your computer, if you want to do that too. But I wouldn't recommend doing that. But the Trezor FAQ, at frequently asked questions, that is a good, they answer a lot of questions on there. One of the questions I get asked about Trezor is, well, how about if it goes out of business? I mean, what happens then? You know, again, there are third parties out there that you'll be able to continue everything at. But that is that's something I get asked, and they actually answer it at their frequently asked questions section. He was first back there.
Have you moved your Bitcoins to SegWit addresses?
Great question. So obviously I had a bit of Bitcoin before the SegWit change happened. Now when it happened, it was actually expensive to move it then. The mempool was filled up. So I did not move it at that time. Now remember, I travel around the world, so I don't take my Trezor with me. Because oh God, I had a TSA experience once. I could give a whole speech about that. When I did have my Trezor with me. Not a good idea. And but anyway, I didn't move it. I did not move. I do have SegWit addresses. I moved some, but not all. Now, again, if you're a long-term holder, your legacy address, it's going to work still. It's not a problem. But if you're a person who does move their Bitcoin every once in a while, yeah, moving it to a SegWit address is going to ensure that if you want to move it in the future to another SegWit address, that the transaction is definitely cheap. So I have not moved all of mine yet for those reasons that I'm not around my Trezor very often. And it was expensive when that option first came out there. But yeah, you could do it. You should do it. A lot of people encourage it. I'm not rushing myself to do it. You were next.
Do you like Nano Ledger?
Do I like Ledger Nano?
Yeah.
All right, so that's my second favorite. Now I'm going to give you an honest answer about this. So again, I encounter a lot of people who use both. And there's two other, what are the other ones called?
Digitbox.
Yeah, the digital Bitbox, which and then KeepKey. KeepKey, I don't like that because one of the guys involved with that was involved with promoting Bcash, I would say. So I said to boycott Voorhees, Eric Voorhees, and Shapeshift. You don't have to do that. You don't have to be as hardcore as me. Or he was behind he supported 2x also. Some of you don't even know what I'm talking about. But okay, so it's generally accepted though that Trezor and Ledger Nano are the best. But I've had people, and recently there was a problem with Ledger Nano. There was a problem with actually storing your Bcash on there that freaked some people out. It looked like they didn't have as much Bcash as they should. And even though I'm not a Bcash fan, I had Bcash because I got it for free. And I would have had like a heart attack if I'd seen like, oh my God, I don't have any Bcash. What the heck happened here? So Trezor has been known to, when Trezor has had issues, they immediately address it. They send out a press release. It's taken care of. It wasn't even a big problem. The other problem I've heard is I've had clients of mine, people I've been associated with, because I do crypto consultations and I help people set up a Trezor. They've had some complexities with their Ledger Nanos, just some scary incidences that I haven't heard about with Trezor. So that makes me favor the Trezor over the Ledger Nano. Now, I'm not saying anybody lost anything on their Ledger Nano. I would never spread rumors like that. But there might have been some scary moments a few people had that would have freaked the living anything out of me with the Ledger Nano that I had not heard about with the Trezor. So that's an opinion. That's from my experience. I'm not saying Ledger Nano is a bad product, but I prefer the Trezor. And again, I'm associated with a guy, CryptoHWWallet.com. He's like a third-party seller of these devices. He's totally trustworthy dude. And so he sells Ledger Nanos and stuff, and so I've had an affiliate code with him, so I'm sure I benefited from people buying Ledger Nano. I do have an affiliate code